I want to come on here and share the two biggest factors that will directly impact how much money you can make as a full-time freelancer and whether you're going to make enough to actually transition from a 9 to 5 to a full-time freelance career. And those two things are, number one, not taking low-paying clients, and number two, targeting clients that you know have enough budget. And I want to break that down because the other day I got a question from somebody in my comments saying, how long did it take you to go full-time as a freelance copywriter? And what I shared was that in 30 days after cold pitching, after deciding I was going to go after this, it took 30 days before I landed my first paying freelance client on LinkedIn. And they were a technology company. They were paying me $1,100 per month to write, I think, 4 blog posts per month. Once I got that one client, I think I got 2 or 3 or maybe 4 more. And then in as little as 4 or 5 months, I was making between $4,000 and $5,000. It was never, an exact number each month, but when you get retainer clients, you can at least know what to expect in terms of like a monthly income. So to recap that, my first client I landed in 30 days using cold pitching on LinkedIn. They were my $1,100 per month client, and at the time that was my rent. So I said, okay, if I can actually make my rent off of one client, that's a really good sign. And then in as little as 4 to 5 months, I was making a full-time income. I was making around $4,000 to $5,000 per month at the 5-month mark. And I want to tell you how you can do this. The top 2 ways are, like I said, not taking low-paying clients. And number 2, making sure that you are targeting clients that have adequate budget. So the first one's important, and it might sound, it might seem easy, it might sound obvious, but it's not, because what I see a lot of people online saying, hey guys, I'm thinking of charging 10 cents per word for this. How does this look? People are charging really low rates to get their foot in the door with copywriting. And you don't have to do that if you choose clients that have a high budget. And what's ironic about this is that if you try to target a high paying client with a really low price, they are not going to take you seriously, and they're probably not going to hire you because they're going to think to themselves, why is this person pricing themselves so low? Something must be up. They're probably inexperienced. It's a bad look. So when you mix those two factors together, refusing low-paying clients, not even accepting the work that they're willing to give you, which is what I do regularly, and number 2, going after the clients with the high budgets, everything works together in this really nice synergy so you can make a full-time living. The first point about not accepting low-paying clients, you might be saying to yourself, well, easier said than done. I really need money and I really want to get my foot in the door. And I'll just tell you this. How I prevented, or how I prevented going with these low-paying clients in the beginning was by having a small savings account. So I had basically saved like 45 to 50% of my salary at a high-paying sales job I had before I quit. So I was living off of kind of this first, unemployment checks, and number 2, this little cushion of money that I had saved. I think everybody should have an emergency fund. I read The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and that helped me to pay off my student loans, to stop racking up credit card debt, and to start saving, to start living within my means, and to really get control of my finances. And that was the only reason I was able to transition to full-time freelancer, because I said to myself, if all else fails, I could probably get by on my savings for like 2 to 3 months while I figure something out. So having a savings and not being desperate is your number 1 safeguard against low-paying clients and taking things out of desperation. Never make decisions out of desperation. And I've definitely worked with clients that maybe gave me red flags, and I did it because I just wanted the money, and I've regretted it. So I definitely speak from experience there. Number 2, going after clients that you know have adequate budget. And this is something that a lot of the writers who follow me need to kind of adjust or tweak, because you guys have these really fun niches like health and wellness and like some of like spirituality, holistic type stuff. And while that is interesting and fascinating, you'll probably have fun writing it, you have to be sure that the companies or the person who is hiring you has adequate budget, or else it's gonna be a lot of nickel and diming, a lot of high expectations, because the irony is that many people who pay the least have the highest expectations. The clients who were really stickler on budget with me expected the most and were the most difficult, and the ones who kind of just threw money, they let me do my thing. They were a lot more easygoing, and you will find that. And that's kind of like a principle that spans a lot of different industries, is that your low paying clients are probably going to be the most difficult and expect to extract everything they can out of you. So when you target these companies, ask yourself, what is their budget? And one of the advantages I had of going into the technology sector was that even the small companies that I target that were not established, that were not reputable yet, they were working with large budgets because they had just raised seed funding. They had just gotten a ton of investment by, these venture capitalists to pour into a marketing budget. So my suggestion is, if you are in one of these fun niches, right? Because I'll just be honest with you, my niche is not super fun. I make it fun because I think that you get really good at something and the passion follows, right? I think it's actually opposite from what most people think. If you are in one of these fun sectors like health and wellness, what you want to do is, instead of maybe targeting a single person who's just trying to get their foot in the door and build a business and they want you to do some work for them, they're probably going to have a tight budget. If you were to target a health and wellness company, or if you were to target a corporate wellness program where you know that thousands of dollars are going to be allotted into this budget, that is money that's going to go to you. And what you want to keep in mind with targeting these clients with high budgets is that some of us look at the money that these clients are looking to give us, or are willing to give us, and say, wow, that's a lot. So I'll be really transparent with you. I charge upwards of $500 for a blog post that's under 850 words. And in my head, I'm thinking, why would anyone pay this much, right? Because I'm thinking with my wallet, my brain, because I'm a very frugal person. There's not a lot of things that I'd be willing to invest in. But these companies are not operating with my wallet. They are operating with a large budget, and they will pay top dollar for a quality writer. So I want you to get out of your head and think like, there's no way I can charge that much. Yes, you can charge that much. And if you don't take it, another writer who believes in themselves will take it. They will gladly take it. So understand what companies, what industries, what sectors have a lot of budget. And if you are in a holistic healing, spiritual, something that maybe you don't think has the most budget, you can actually find companies that are making a large profit, that allocate a large budget toward their marketing and their brand awareness. Joanne said I targeted expensive baby brands. They accepted my high rate from the start. Yeah, I mean, I love that, Joanne, because look at the honest company. Like I have a lot of people following me that are in the parenting and baby and wellness and like natural, clean products, health and wellness niches. And you think like, okay, no, that's not going to be like this big, it's not technology, it's not finance, it's not marketing, it's not, financial technology, fintech. It's not like these big flashy things, but look at the honest company. That is like now a publicly traded company. Jessica Alba is a billionaire, I believe now, from that company, because people want to buy, high quality products for their babies and know what's in those stuff. So my point being is that look for the industries that do have the budget, and stop accepting low paying clients, because they are more trouble than they're worth. Trust me when I say they're more trouble than they're worth. You're better off not getting paid and holding off for a bit and pitching high paying clients, which will maybe make you feel like you're not doing anything. But if you go after the right clients and hold off on the work that's low paying, you have more mental energy to pursue your business, to build up your business, and to not get burnt out, because a lot of those situations can be really draining, really discouraging. I see it all the time in these groups of like, this client stiffed me on this payment, this client's up my ass, this client wants this many revisions. And I've been there, because in the beginning you just don't know what to take. Anyone who actually is willing to hire you, you get so excited, and it's not always what it's cracked up to be. So if you could just take two things away from this, it's that the two things that will influence your ability to make a full-time living from, zero to full-time, which is what I did. You want to stop accepting low-paying clients, and you want to target the clients that have the budget for it. And I actually saw somebody just ask, like, what do you suggest a newbie charges? And this is one of the most common questions, which is, what do I charge? And my answer to that is go to AWAI. It's the American Writers and Artists Institute, I believe. They have an industry standard free downloadable PDF that I have shared with so many people. It's actually a downloadable in my online course, 30 Days to Paid, because I want you to set your rates within these industry standards. And, if you set your prices on the low end in the beginning to get your foot in the door, at least you're not going below industry standard. And the reason why I want to share that with as many writers as I can is because it impacts me selfishly. Because the more people that are offering to write for pennies, it brings down the industry standard. It brings down the reputation of this industry. We have to continue to charge what we're worth for this industry to thrive, right? For us to continue to command high rates, we need to all be on the same page. And that's what AWAI does, is gives you a free report and say, hey, make sure that if you write a blog post, that it is between this amount and this amount, and do not go below that. And that is a free download that I wish every writer had. All right, guys, thanks so much for hopping on.